Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmid Din Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى اللهم اهد الناس جميعا اللهم اهد أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم Allah, our creator, our sustainer, our nourisher, our cherisher, we ask that you guide us, we ask that you guide our talks, we ask that you guide our behavior and our actions towards that which will bring pleasure unto you. We ask that you will guide each and every system and each and every limb of us and each and every one of us towards that life which will please you. Allahumma hdina sirat al-mustaqim. We ask that you guide us on the straight path, the path of those who you are pleased with, and guide us towards that which will please you. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ashabihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. I thank you all. Phambili ngomulana phambili. Phambili ngomulana phambili. Okay. Now we're going to move very fast. I'm going to call our Deputy Secretary General, Commissar Hlengiwe Mkhaliphi, to introduce the leaders who are here very quickly. Commissar TSG. Wathinte bafazi. Wathinte bafazi. Wathinte mbokodo.
Amandla! Long live EFF, long live! Long live Commander-in-Chief, long live! Ngiyabonga National Chair. Ngizonazisa inkokheli zethu eziphuma kwi-Central Command Team. Ngizoqala ngokomisa uspokesperson wethu ukomisa Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Ngiphinde ngi-introduce uSecretary General wethu ukomisa Godrich Kati. Bese ngi-introduce uNational Chairperson wethu ukomisa Dali Mpofu. Bese ngi-introduce uDeputy President wethu Floyd Shivambu.
Mayibuye. Ya Africa. Viva EFF, viva. Viva the economic freedom fighters, viva. Long live the fighting spirit of Robert Sobukwe, long live. Long live the fighting spirit of Solomon Mahlangu, long live. Amandla. Thank you very much, Deputy Secretary General, the National Chairperson, the Secretary General, CCT members, the ground forces of the EFF, the PCT, and the RLC here in the Southern Cape, and all structures of the EFF. My role is very simple. I'm here to introduce a revolutionary. I'm here to introduce the leader of the revolution. I'm here to introduce the Commander-in-Chief and President of the EFF, Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema. Comrade President. Amandla. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Kula EFF, kula. Tata EFF, tata. Thank you very much. Molweni. Our chairperson, Dali Mpofu, our Deputy President, Floyd Shivambu, the Secretary General, Godrich Kati, and our Deputy Secretary General, Mam Mkhaliphi, and all leaders who are here, the province, the region, members of the Central Command Team. Thank you very much for coming
to mark this important day in the history of South Africa. 366 years ago, some people arrived here and took what rightfully belonged to us. A lot of Europeans used to pass here, going into some trading with India. It was not for the first time on the 6th of April 1652 that the Europeans were passing by. The problem started when they established the refreshment center led by Jan van Riebeeck, because their intention was to conquer the Southern African people. Jan van Riebeeck was not a noble man. He was a convicted criminal. He was a prisoner. He was an immoral man sent on a mission to come and conquer Southern Africa. Their claim was that the Khoi and the San did not have title deeds, and therefore South Africa was no man's land. But title deed is not our thing. It's a thing of Europeans. And therefore our ownership of the land cannot be judged on the basis of what is a requirement according to European laws. We settled here, we knew who owned what, and we did not have to produce any paper because we had respect for each other. But their respect for each other depended on the paper. So they respected a paper more than respecting individual ownership of property. But we valued people more than a mere paper. Then on the same day, in 1979, there was a young child called Solomon Mahlangu who was killed. So therefore, 6 April is an important day here in South Africa. We want it to be declared the Land Day in South Africa, which will be celebrated by all, because our children must know the history of South Africa. The problem started with the land disposition. If they had not taken our land, but asked to settle with us, we would have accommodated them the same way the Khoi and the San accommodated Africans. Because we found the Khoi and the San here. Those are the indigenous people of South Africa. We didn't come and conquer them. We settled with them because we were all Africans. The borders did not matter to us, including to the Khoi and the San, because there were no borders. These borders you see today are artificial borders imposed on us by colonizers who went into some conference and decided to divide Africa amongst themselves, that the British will control here, that the French will control there, that the ones of Portugal, the Portuguese, will take this portion. So, and the Spanish will take this portion. Divided Africa, not because they had the interest of Africa at heart, but they were pursuing their own colonial conquest of Africa. Today, we want to worship the borders. We call people Makwere-kwere. We call people Zimbabweans. We call people Mashangane, because we were told by our own colonizers that we must not love one another. We must kill each other because this one comes from that border. Those are not our borders. They are the borders of the colonizers. we are one thing. Africa is not a continent per se, it is a country. We are one big family called Africa. They divided us because they know that the unity of Africans is a threat to Europeans. But the day we are united, all of this suffering will come to an end. Because the unity of Africa means the land in the hands of Africans. The unity of Africa means the mines in the hands of Africans, the banks in the hands of Africans, that every strategic sector of the economy must be in the hands of the people. So today, many of you here are not working. And you are unemployed, not because you are not educated. You are unemployed because you don't have the land. If you look at Amapunu, when their children don't go to school, they are never said they are unemployed. Even illiterate white kids, they are not unemployed. Why? Basebenza umhlaba, because they've got the land. If you had the land here in Georgia, I don't know why this place called George. It must be changed the name so that we have a proper name, which is reflective of African people here. If you had the land here, because the land here in Georgia is so beautiful. If you had the land, you are not going to be in this rally. You will be working your land, producing, feeding yourself and feeding nations of the world out of your sweat and your hard work. There is no person with the land who is unemployed. There is no person with the land who wants an RDP house. Doing what with RDP house? Because you've got the land, you work on it, you build yourself a beautiful house which will accommodate all our many children. Because we've got many children. We don't want RDP house. We want proper houses which will accommodate all our children so that they can have their dignity back. So we must fight for the return of the land without compensation. The land audit in South Africa shows that 72% of the land is owned by white minorities. We must change that. 15% by the colored community. 5% by Indian community, and only 4% by Africans, who are the majority of South Africans. We must change that. 72% must be Africans, and then 15% can remain in coloreds, and then 5% Indians, and 4% whites. There's no problem. Because the land ownership must be a reflection of the demographics of South Africa. If you are few, you must own a smaller portion of the land. The majority must own the bigger portion of the land. Then there will be peace in South Africa. So when we say to the people of South Africa, occupy the land, we don't say do an illegal thing. It is a right thing to do because it is your land. How do you say we are wrong by asking people to go and occupy what is rightfully belonging to them? It is your property. I can't say to you, go and occupy your house, and I'm told I'm doing a wrong thing. The land belongs to you. you must continue to occupy it. It's your land. And never get tired, because the DA is in power here in George. They shoot at people who are occupying the land. They arrest people who are occupying. Never get tired. They will get tired and you will get the land. When they chase you, you must do the up and downs with the police. Don't go with an expensive material. Just take old material when you go to occupy the land. When the police come to take the material, you say, you can take it, I'm coming back tomorrow. They will end up being tired. You know why? Majority of black people, where they stay, it was at the beginning the so-called illegal occupation. You see that big Soweto, it was not given to our people. They occupied it by force. Today it is the biggest township in Southern Africa. But at the beginning, it was the so-called illegal occupation. You are not starting this occupation. We found it happening. Black people were denied land. They occupied it by force. You must continue with that legacy and occupy it by force until they accept that this land belongs to our people. There is a guy called Sofasonke Mpanza. You must go and Google his name. He's the one who started the land occupation in Soweto. Today, Soweto produced world icons. Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Winnie Mandela, all those people who came from Soweto, they are products of an illegal land occupation, if you want to call it that. So it's not like we are starting something new. We are simply saying to the people who are in power, we are serious about the land issue. When I came in here at the airport, I found a huge plane, and I asked, who's this one now? They say, no, it's a Prime Minister of Kuwait. He's got a big farm here. But there is no Mpofu with a farm in Kuwait. There is no black person with a farm in Kuwait. They come from all over. They come and take our land here. But we don't have any piece of land where they come from. And when we fight for our land, they say we are wrong. We are not wrong. We want to own the land the same way they own the land where they come from. We never took their land. We never killed them for the land. No one says white people must go to the sea. We don't want any white man driven to the sea here. South Africa will be ugly. These people here, they have naturalized. It's like when a person says to you, we must wake up tomorrow without trees. No, trees are a natural thing. We grow up with trees. So we can't wake up tomorrow, there are no trees here. We can't wake up tomorrow, there are no white people. It will be a scary thing. Children will start crying. Like, what happened to Abelu? These whites, they belong here with us. We are neighbors, but they must be prepared to share the land. The only problem we have with them, they don't want to share the land. Now they say, hey, Malema doesn't want white people. I never said that. I said I want the land. I never said I don't want white people. When you want the land, they say, you see, he doesn't want white people. They are deliberately lying. They are deliberately distorting what the EFF is saying. The EFF says we want the land. The EFF never said one settler, one bullet. The EFF never said the settlers to the sea. It is the settlers themselves who said they are going to Australia. And I said, leave the keys of the tractors when you go to Australia. I never said they must go. I said you can stay with us here, you can coexist with us here, but white supremacist doesn't mean all whites. White supremacists are white people who think that white is superior. They are threatened by equality. They are not scared of Malema. They are scared of equality. They don't see themselves being equal to their domestic workers. They don't see themselves being equal to their garden boys. Let me tell you, to the white supremacist, it doesn't matter how educated you are. It doesn't matter how rich you are. When they see Patrice Motsepe, they see a garden boy. Until someone tells them, no, he's a billionaire, then they embrace him. Why? Because everything black is a domestic worker, it's a security guard, it's a garden boy. So when you are black and you think you are successful and you think you are high, you are nothing. Come and fight with us here. Because once we are all liberated, then we can have respect from white people. When we say we want land, we mean the dignity of black people. No one respects a person who is propertyless, including you here. When you walk there in town in George, you see a hobo. You know this person doesn't have a property. It doesn't matter whether that hobo is white hobo or a black hobo. When they come close to you, hey, why? Because you know they don't have property. But when they look like they've got property and they come close to you, you say to them, say, how are you? Why? Because you respect the owners of property. And when you've got property, even your confidence comes back. You must look at the poor people in the informal settlement. When they went to Umgiti, they went to take 1, 2, 3 drinks. Even when they arrive at their shack, which doesn't have anything, they stop by the gate there and say, this is my place. You can see that this person feels himself. This is my place here. I don't want nonsense here. He's talking alone. Why? He feels like, you know, I'm a person now. Because I've got a property. So we want you to be people. Because you are not people in the eyes of those who own property. They see you as subhumans. Why? You don't have property. You don't deserve rights. You don't deserve respect. They can kill you at any time and say you looked like a baboon. They thought you were a baboon. Why? You are propertyless. But the day, I've never heard them saying, we killed this farmer, we killed this owner of a shop, we killed this educated person who's got his own properties by mistake, and we've mistaken him or her for a baboon. All those who gets confused with baboons, all those who are fed to lions, are the people without property, are the people without land. They go around saying we want to kill them, when they are the ones who are killing our people. Feed them to lions, shoot them and say they looked like monkeys, kill children because they trespassed on their way back to school. They passed through a farm of a white person, kill children and said they intruded the farm, they were fishing illegally. We never killed any of them. We never called for the killing of white people. Yet, by demanding a rightful thing, they say we want to kill them. They say there is a white genocide. Our journalists don't write to counter that nonsense that there is no white genocide in South Africa. There is a legitimate demand for the land to be returned. The reason why they say there is a white genocide, they want America to invade South Africa. The same way they did with Iraq. They said there were weapons of mass destruction, and they fed that through embedded journalism, and everybody believed there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They invaded Iraq, they killed Saddam Hussein. Till today, we have never seen a piece of a weapon of mass destruction. That's what they are doing with South Africa here. They are preparing to invade South Africa through embedded journalism by saying there is a white genocide when there is no such. They want to spread that narrative so that the day you take the land by force, they will come here with all types of weapons, come and conquer you and say you were killing white people. Why? There was never an alternative narrative that said there are no whites who are being killed in South Africa. If there is anything, there is crime in South Africa which affect black and white. All of us were affected by crime. Farm workers are killed. White farmers are being killed. That is not a genocide on white people. It's crime. We must arrest the criminals. Yeah, man. Fellow fighters, let us go and fight for the land. Your children are nothing without the land. Your children are going to be like you if you don't return the land. But the problem is one, here in South Africa. You love EFF when you are in trouble. When you are not in trouble, you don't love the EFF. When the farmers beat you up, you start asking for the address of the EFF. When your bosses don't pay you, you ask for EFF address. When the councillors steal from you, you ask for the EFF. When there is no service delivery in the hospitals, you ask for the EFF. But when the time comes for you to vote, we cancel out Mandela. Yes, Pumakude no Madiba. There is no Madiba here. Huh? You will not go to Madiba's grave when the poor give you trouble. You come to the EFF. So you must start doing the right thing and vote for the EFF so that we can resolve your problems. We are resolving your problems now. Yesterday we were marching to George Hospital because we want quality health care for your children. The conditions in public hospitals are bad. Children get born into poverty, they die poor, there's no money even to bury them. When it rains, the children swat in a hospital. It's raining. These people are so fragile. They must not be exposed to terrible conditions. Children die young. Yet, 23 years into democracy, facilities for black people are not proper, including the white hospitals which used to serve white people. The ANC came into power and destroyed them. There is no longer a single public hospital that you can be proud of. Abu Gogo, they are even worse. When they are sick, they cry and ask you not to take them to that hospital. But I will not come back if you take me to that hospital. What nonsense is this, where a government fails just to take care of the basic things? Education has collapsed. Our children can't count. Our children don't remember the things which were taught to them at school. The education has collapsed. And that was supposed to be the first thing we get right, because apartheid, in persecuting us, in destroying us, it took away the right to education. That was supposed to be the first thing that we correct. Because to give land to illiterate people, they will send it back to the colonizers. We want you to be educated, work the land, protect the land. Education is a permanent solution to poverty and unemployment. We don't want people who smoke nyaupe. What will a nyaupe person do with the land? Because instead of farming, he will just dig a hole there. We don't want drunkards to get the land. We want sober people to get the land and work the land and feed their children. So we must say that the land is coming. Let me tell you, when the EFF speak, they always say the EFF is talking rubbish. But everything the EFF said is a superior logic. It's happening. We said expropriation of land without compensation. But Malema uyapambana. The policy yakhe izokolapsa economy. But today they came and said expropriation without compensation themselves. The people who said Malema is mad, today they say let's expropriate. I thought maybe it was the ANC trying to get votes. Yesterday when I'm watching TV, Musima Imani says the child grant must be doubled. I went to take the manifesto of the EFF of 2014. I read there the EFF says we must double the social grants. I'm like, but we said this in 2014, and the DA said these people are mad. Where will they get the money? There is no money. But today, the DA says the same thing that the EFF said. Hey, you must start cleaning your hands, because social grants are going to be doubled. Because the EFF said so, they are now joining the queue. But the problem is that they are dishonest. When they plagiarize the EFF message, they don't say the source is the EFF. Because Musima Imani, if he was an honest man, he should have started by saying, the EFF is right. Let us double the social grants for children and old people. We said this long time ago. They said you are mad. I'm saying to you, please don't be impatient with them. Be patient with them, because your mind is liberated. Their mind is still oppressed, but you are liberating their mind. Then they are coming to join you one by one. We don't want to win elections. We don't exist to win elections. The primary existence of the EFF is to liberate the mind of an African child. If all of you can be liberated and know what is wrong and right, we are happy. We are governing this country even when we are not in power. When we say to you, Zuma will go, you think we are joking. Huh? He's looking after cattle now in Nkandla now. We told you he will go. I want you to watch the space. We said Trollip must go. and Trolip went to buy some gangster party called PA to protect him, I can tell you now, Trolip will go. Once the EFF pronounce something, you must know it's going to happen. We said to you, free education for the children in the high universities. Look at our children now. For free. They are learning for free. When we said to them this year, go to universities, go and register by force, they said Malema is irresponsible, the children are going to kill each other. He said they must go and register. No single child died. More than 100,000 registered for free. Helped by the EFF. We said there must be minimum wage. In South Africa, government has passed a minimum wage. We may not agree with the amount, but the principle of minimum wage, now everybody agrees with that. We said to you, no security guard must be paid less than 7,500. You will see it will happen. We said those who are working for government on behalf of private companies, they must be insourced and work for government directly. They are being insourced as we speak now. In Johannesburg municipality there, how many have we insourced there? We took 4,000 security guards who were earning 4,000 rand and less than that. We took them from private companies straight into a municipality. They will now earn more than 8,000. They will now have medical aid. They will now have a pension fund. We are busy restoring the dignity of a black person. At Vets University, our national chair was chairing that committee which insourced 2,000 workers. The cleaners who were working for private companies are now working for Vets University. You know what it means? It means their children will go to Vets University free of charge because they are working for Vets University. We are fighting. We are not government. We are being beaten every time we say these things. We are being persecuted every time we say this. But we are making progress all the time. The people who want things done in South Africa, they always say, let the EFF say it. You will see it will happen. Because we only speak the truth. We don't lie. Here at Georgia, I'm told here in the municipality, if you don't speak Afrikaans, they don't take you seriously. We don't have a problem with Afrikaans. It's a language of our people. But people must never be discriminated on the basis of the language they speak. We must treat people equally. Those who speak Xhosa, those who speak Zulu, Sotho, English, Afrikaans, we are one thing. But DA, it's a divider. It's not a unifier. They now make black Africans to hate black coloreds because they will think black coloreds receive preference. We don't want that. We want all of you to be one thing. Africans or no Africans, you must get employment there. We also heard that DA councillors here, when you want a job, they want to sleep with you first before they give you a job. Ishuman ZDA. Musi my man, they are led by Ishuman number 1, my man. The must come here to the EFF. We must teach them how to propose here. You don't propose with government post. Let the people be hired in the municipality, whether they slept with a councillor or not. As long as they've got the qualification, that should be the only requirement. And by the way, to get a job in the municipality, you don't have to have a degree only. There are jobs for people who have degree. There are jobs for those who have matric. There are jobs for those who have not gone to school. They too must get jobs. They are South Africans. We must give them proper jobs so that they can feed their families. So the EFF councillors, please stop sleeping there in the municipality. You must work very hard and expose this corruption. We want all the tenders that are given to DA people to be exposed, because they always say corruption is in the ANC. There is corruption as well in the DA. Here at Georgia, the RDPs have got eyes. If they don't like you, they don't give you at all. People have been registering for RDPs for years. Till today, they have not received RDP houses. So, fighters, let's fight and get this municipality right. 2019 is coming. Look at what we are doing when we are not in power. Imagine when we are in power, what will happen? Because we don't beg anything. We're not scared of the ANC. We're not scared of the DA. We're not scared of white people. When we arrive, they always ask, what do you think must happen? And we always tell them, this is what must happen. So give us power. You will see what will happen, especially with the land. Fighters, we've lost a giant. Mama Winnie is no more. A powerful woman, a powerful African woman, an inspiration to the hopeless masses of our people. The fearless woman who fought against the most brutal regime, which was always ready to suck blood of black people. They never liked Winnie Mandela because Winnie Mandela is us. They hated her because they hated us. They said all bad things about Winnie Mandela because they knew that Winnie Mandela represents the true struggles of our people. Winnie Mandela is called the mother of the nation. That title was given to her by women in the squatter camps, by women in the villages, by women in the townships. They said to her, you don't get elected to be a mother of the nation. It's a title that gets bestowed on you through the struggles you have gone through in trying to liberate the masses of our people. Winnie Mandela gave birth to these democrats we have today. They hated her because they hate African women. They say all manner of nonsense about Winnie Mandela. They accuse her of many things that they too have done. Let me give you one example. They say Winnie Mandela killed Stompie Seipei. George Fivers, the former apartheid police commissioner, came out and said there was no evidence which implicated Winnie Mandela in the killing of Stompie Seipei. Therefore, Winnie Mandela did not kill Stompie Seipei. But let's say for a second Winnie Mandela killed Stompie Seipei. Why are they destroying her and saying all sorts of things because of this one child? When in exile, a lot of people were killed. They were called MPs. They were sellouts. They were taken to a firing squad. They were killed under O.R. Tambo. They were killed under Joe Mutise. They were killed under Krisani's watch. They were commanders of Mkhonto Wesizwe. But today, they are not saying, no, you must hate O.R. Tambo because people were killed in the camps in his name. Why? Because he's a man. Because he's a soldier, because he's a commander. It's understandable that there will be casualties. But when it happens under a woman, it's a big problem. Why? Because a woman must not do what is supposed to be done by a man. That is patriarchy. That is unacceptable. The second thing, those are the things of old people. The young ones must close their ears. They say Winnie Mandela was sleeping with young kids when Mandela was in prison. Something she has not done. But let's say she has done it. She slept with young kids when Mandela was in prison and all of that. Who has not done that? Because all of these male leaders, they slept with women of their fellow comrades, they slept with the children of their fellow comrades, they raped their own children, yet they got elected into the highest offices. When it's a man sleeping around, no, it's understandable. Hindod. But when it's a woman, hey, she's useless, she can't be a leader, hey, she has hurt Mandela, hey, ha. What about Makumalo? How many times was Makumalo hurt? Yet the hater of Makumalo got promoted into presidency. A woman can't do this, a woman can't do that. When Winnie Mandela said, we will liberate our country with tires and a box of matches, she did not literally mean that. She was trying to scare his MPs that if you sell out the revolution, there will be consequences for you. She did that to protect the revolution. There is nothing reckless about that. Because in exile, they did not say they will put a tire and a matches. They killed those who were called Izimpimpis. They called them, lined them up, and shot at them one by one. Yet the people who were shooting at those people, today they are heroes. Winnie Mandela, who did not put a tire on anyone, today she's not a hero. She must go and burn in hell for something she has not done. We must protect our own. They say, hey, she was found guilty of corruption and all that. Yeah, we had a president who stole more than 250 million. He was protected. Today, the bastard was in court in Natal. Me and him were in court. I was in court in Bloemfontein. But I was in court fighting for you. Because I'm arrested for saying you must get the land. The ANC was in court because they stole from you. Today. He got promoted when Winnie wanted to be president in 1997. Zuma was already a criminal. Yet, they preferred to elect Zuma into deputy president in 1997 in Mafike against Winnie Mandela. Why? She's a woman. African men who suffer from inferiority, who are scared of women, who can't tolerate powerful women, Winnie Mandela is the first powerful revolutionary who is a female and African. When you read the history of politics all over the world, you hear about men, Karl Marx, Lenin, Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, Nelson Mandela, Chrisani. They are all men. For the first time, the world will celebrate a female revolutionary, and that revolutionary will come from South Africa. Oh, Mama, wait. We must mourn and celebrate the life of Winnie Mandela. We must protect her legacy. We must make sure that anyone who criticizes Winnie Mandela unfairly must be isolated, because that person does not belong to us. Winnie Mandela had no method. She was responding from time to time to the conditions on the ground. Her response was not informed by political science textbook. Her response, her approach to resolving issues was informed by her practical experience on the ground. We will celebrate Winnie. We don't want their permission. The same way they celebrate the murderers de Klerk, Winnie is not a murderer. Winnie is our mother. She's a mother of the nation. A title that not even wives of presidents can get. Nkosazana Zuma will never be mother of the nation. Batabile Dlamini. Maybe Batabile Dlamini, a title will be a drunkard of the nation. Never. Another Winnie Mandela is going to come from the EFF. The EFF is the only organization capable of producing another mother of the nation. You will never buy that title. That title, you can't buy it. That title, there is no conference for it. You just find even the older people saying, Mama wait. Why? Because a mother will do everything for her children. And that is what we need it for us. Can I ask that we all rise and men take out your heads, and we ask those who are moving to stand still. And let's keep quiet, please. Let us have a moment of silence to remember our hero, our mother, and to say to Mama Winnie, tell Peter Mukaba that the young ones are still burning the fires here, that the land will be returned, because there is a new revolutionary organization formed by the fearless fighters. We say to you, Mama, we'll continue your fighting spirit. We will pick up the spear and continue to fight. Let us have a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Amandla! Amandla! Viva EFF, viva! Viva! Kula EFF, kula! Kula! Tata EFF, tata! Auno maguvi! Siaya! Siaya! No maguvi! No ma bese tubulas, besi shayat, besi bopas. No ma bese tubulas, besi shayat, besi bopas. No ma gumi. Maguvi, Siaya, Siaya, no Mavese Tubulas, Besishaya, Besibopas, no Mavese Tubulas, Besishaya, Besibopas, no Maguvi, Siaya, Siaya, Gubi, Gubi, oh, Siaya, Siaya, no Mavese Tubulas, Besishaya, Besibopas, no Mavese Tubulas, Besishaya, Besibopas. Who left? Who right? Jamasa. Who left? Kita. Kilame. Kilawata. Samarumbo. Samarumbo. Asicha. Where were you when I'm dreaming? Where were you when I'm shit? Sofa skichi. Hey boy. Sofa skichi. Etanti. Bonke laman. Himagit. Bonke laman. Himagit. Selta tile. Hilagit. Selta tile. Hilagit. Zebram Kondo Alliance. Shoot to kill. Killawa. Shoot to kill. Killame. Kiss the poor. The farmer. Kiss the poor. The farmer. Brr, pa. Pa. Brr, pa. Pa. Tension.
You're watching SABC News. Thank you for joining us. These are live visuals out of George in the Western Cape this afternoon. And of course, as you can see, it's awash with the EFF signature read today. That was quite a robust delivery from Julius Malema, the EFF leader, at a rally there this afternoon, making a case, we heard, for land expropriation without compensation. He called for African unity. Land will always be an emotive issue in our country, but we've heard President Cyril Ramaphosa say time and time again that this expropriation process will take place in a well-controlled, well-managed and sensitive way without food security being compromised. So there is no need for panic, no need for anxiety or any kind of fear, as there will be thorough and inclusive engagement. Malema also called the late Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela for her to go down in history as one of the most influential women revolutionaries on the continent, and she was a link between the ANC hierarchy and young black revolutionaries in the country at one time.
That's right. He's making a case for land expropriation without compensation, and he says that dispossession over generations must be addressed. He also raised pertinent issues issues about unemployment, a lack of housing and service delivery in some areas, education and public health care in particular, pointing a finger at government. Malema made an impassioned plea to all Africans to unite in the face of challenges like unemployment, poverty and a lack of housing, and he refuted accusations that he is anti-white. In fact, he said that South Africa with white people would be boring. He said that our children would cry if there were no white people, but they must be prepared to share the land. And he almost suggested, in fact he suggested it should be in the same proportions as the population distribution in the country.
He also took a swipe at the Democratic Alliance there, saying that they're trying to divide the black and coloured communities. Well, let's cross over now to Orlando West in Soweto, just outside the late Mum Winnie's house, where our reporter Tukwan Katana is standing by.